This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Before I get started today, I want to talk about, very briefly, the last couple of videos I've done have been about Stella Immanuel, the doctor who Donald Trump has been promoting because she is in favor of hydroxychloroquine, calling it a cure, a miracle cure. No need to wear a mask because we have a cure for the coronavirus. And I've gotten a lot of communication, mostly of people despairing about the fact that we're in a situation in America, and have been for a long time, where Christianity has kind of been usurped by right-wing nutterbutters. And I've gotten a lot of communication also telling me that I'm going to burn in hell over the last couple of days. That's always nice. But really, mostly, the lion's share of the communication has been people just not panicking, but just reaching out saying, what do we do about this? And I helped a gentleman, my wife's former pastor, a gentleman by the name of Mark Traylor, start a podcast called Christianity Without the Crap. And I know him pretty well. He's a beautiful human being. I don't know that I'd go as far as to say that he's a progressive. He might consider himself that, but he's certainly liberal. And I would say that if you're out there and you feel lost and you feel like you don't have a sense of community within your faith tradition, to check out his podcast, Christianity Without the Crap. There, I think that you will find kindred spirits, but also I think that you'll be able to build up a community around, find like-minded individuals such as yourself to go on this journey of life if you're a person of faith and Christianity is your particular flavor. I would encourage you to do so. Anyway, let's get on with today. So I woke up this morning at 5:45 a.m. to several text messages. I'm on the West Coast. Donald Trump at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time continued his steady march into authoritarianism, or at least his steady march into bringing into question, sowing doubt about the very democratic principles that we hold dear, or ostensibly hold dear, in the United States. He tweeted, "With universal mail-in voting, not absentee voting, which is good, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote." Now, he's so proud of this monstrous idea that he pinned it to the top of his Twitter feed. First, before we go on, Donald Trump cannot do this. Donald Trump does not have the authority, nor does any president of the United States, to just carte blanche delay an election. We'll put it off a couple of days. I got the sniffles. It's not how it works. Further, I think the question needs to be asked of why. Why today did he tweet this? I mean, we know that he has sowed doubt and distress about our democratic systems from the very beginning, about our institutions, our intelligence apparatus, our defense apparatus, the very integrity of Congress and the system by which we make our laws. Donald Trump has tried to trump it. But why today? Well, today, dire economic numbers were released, and I think he's trying to distract from the record-setting bummer that is the United States economy, especially related to GDP. And I'm going to read from NPR an article entitled, "3 Months of Hell, U.S. Economy Drops 32.9% in Worst GDP Report Ever." I mean, look at this graph to put it in a historical context. Look at the steep decline in 2008 during the Great Recession. Go all the way back to the Great Depression, and still it's nowhere near the numbers that we're looking at right now. Reading from the article, The coronavirus pandemic triggered the sharpest economic contraction in modern American history, the Commerce Department reported Thursday. Gross domestic product, the broadest measure of economic activity, shrank at an annual rate of 32.9% in the second quarter as restaurants and retailers closed their doors in a desperate effort to slow the spread of the virus, which has killed more than 150,000 people in the United States. The economic shock in April, May, and June was more than 3 times as sharp as the previous record, 10%, in 1958, and nearly 4 times the worst quarter during the Great Recession. The numbers aren't so scary because we know that things are going to bounce back once we get a handle on the coronavirus and its effects. We know that. And it would happen quicker if people would wear a mask, if they would have some humanity and empathy about them and wear a mask to protect others. We could flatten the curve pretty rapidly and be able to move on with business as usual, ensuring that our hospitals aren't filled to the brim and overloaded beyond capacity. So that is why. But a normal president would take this in stride and say, listen, yeah, these are tough times. We need to all band together. We need to work together to get this back on track. The coronavirus isn't Donald Trump's fault. It's no individual's fault. But how you deal with it, or lack of dealing with it, is someone's fault. So moving on to the claim or the floating the idea of delaying the election that he has no power to do. I'm going to read some quotes from leading Republicans. Cowards. Abject cowards. No one, not a single Republican, said this is dangerous talk, Donald Trump is insane or crazy or wrong. No one. They just danced around it and said, oh yeah, that's not going to happen. Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, said never in the history of our country, through wars, depressions, and the Civil War, have we ever not had a federally scheduled election on time. And we'll find a way to do that again this November 3rd. We'll cope with whatever the situation is and have the election on November 3rd as already scheduled. This is a moment for them to take their party back from Donald Trump, back to the regular old voter suppression racist party of old. But instead, they're going to let it be Donald Trump's party. He could have said, absolutely not, and the idea is reprehensible and anti-democratic. He didn't do that. They stop way short of criticizing Donald Trump because he's their guy. Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, had this to say. Never in the history of federal elections have we ever not held an election, and we should go forward with our election. Again, stopping short of absolutely, unequivocally saying Donald Trump is wrong. It is inappropriate to suggest such a thing. And then let's look at classic Trump bootlickers in the Senate. Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham. Ted Cruz says, election fraud is a serious problem. We need to stop it and fight it. But no, the election should not be delayed. I mean, do we expect anything different from a servile mutt like Ted Cruz, who allows Donald Trump to insult and degrade his own wife, who allows Donald Trump to make the scurrilous and insane accusation that his father, Ted Cruz's father, had something to do with the Kennedy assassination. Only weeks later, we saw him on the phone making campaign calls for the same man who has attacked his family. That's cowardice, folks. Here's Lindsey Graham, for some inexplicable reason, is a mutt for Donald Trump. I don't think that's a particularly good idea. You don't, Lindsey? You don't think that's a particularly good idea to postpone the election in some autocratic, sweeping power grab? You're disgusting, Lindsey Graham. Call Donald Trump out like you did during the 2016 campaign, calling him a xenophobic religious bigot. But now, what are you getting out of this? And then this one is particularly, it's someone you may not know, a senator from North Dakota, Kevin Gramer. This is quintessential Republicanism right here. He says, I think that if you guys take the bait, he'll be the happiest guy in town. I read it. I laughed. I thought, my gosh, this is going to consume a lot of people, except real people. And it was clever. Is it clever, Senator, to dance around authoritarianism like this is some kind of banana republic where the leader of the country can shift and move and change the rules as we go, disregarding the rule of law that has stood as an aspirational ideal in this country for hundreds of years? Is it clever? Oh, he's just trolling y'all. That's not the job of the President of the United States of America, Senator. To tease about being president for life, knowing that he's got Republican bootlickers in his pocket who will never go so far as to criticize. Even Mitt Romney. Where's the quote? Mitt Romney even. So I'm a fan of voting by mail. Secondly, of course, we are going to have an election on time. It's unthinkable that that would not be the case. That's all you got, Mitt. The last hope of the Republican Party, and that's all you got. Cowards, quivering in fear. Fear of a weakling, a dunce in Donald Trump. The sad part about this is there is a massive swath of America, MAGA, who would be A-OK with this idea. Probably are on Twitter right now proclaiming what a wonderful idea it is. Because they'll trade away their freedoms. They'll trade away norms and democracy as long as it benefits their guy. Very scary. But take heart, because he does not have the power. He may have this cabal of bootlicking sycophants around him, like Bill Barr, who will try to twist the law to make it somehow feasible. But it is not, and it will not. Because let me tell you, there will be an uprising like you've never seen in this country. I'll put it in terms that you like to say, Donald Trump, the likes of which you've never seen. You think Portland's bad right now, the 2-block radius of Portland, where there is protests happening? Imagine that countrywide if you try to delay an election. Anyway, I would love to know what you think. 714-576-4054. Email me daily@dollemore.com. It popped into my head, all the emails of me gonna burn in hell, or multiple 3-minute voicemails telling me that I need to repent because I don't believe in alien DNA and demon sperm and reptilian political leaders. Yeah, anyway, you gotta laugh. Otherwise, it's just tears. The other thing, if you are in a financial position to do so and you've been thinking about it, not if you have to budget it in, become a channel member. Help me do my work here on YouTube. For fewer than $2 a month, you can help support independent media just like this. If I'm not your flavor, like I always say, there's someone out there, a David Packman or a Benjamin Dixon or a Cody Johnston. If they do the channel membership thing or Patreon or whatever, support that person. I'm not for everybody. I appreciate it if I am for you, but anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for interacting with my content, engaging with me. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.